Hey sis, hey sis, hey. Welcome back to another episode of Coming to the Stage. Listen, if you are interested in becoming unstoppable as an entrepreneur, if you are ready to learn how to get your mind and your money right, this is the episode for you. If you are new here to Coming to the Stage, welcome again. I am the founder of She Wins Society, Andromeda Raheem, and coming to the stage every Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are introducing you to powerful women with powerful voices and powerful messages that are going to inspire, encourage, and empower you forward. And so on this beautiful, amazing Friday evening, we are introducing you to Breanna Colón, the financial advisor and the president and CEO of Integrity Financial Solutions. Also, she is the author of this good book right here, The Secrets of Saving Money. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring Breanna to the stage right now. We're going to have a conversation again, like I said, about becoming an unstoppable entrepreneur and getting your mind and your money right so that you can win in life and in business. So stay locked in with us right here. Welcome, Breanna.
Hello.
So good to have you here with us today.
Excited to be here.
Yes, you see, I had to show off my book. I'm still very excited to have won this book.
Yes.
So for the
Love
people,
your energy.
Yes. So for the people who may not be familiar with you, I know I gave you a little bit of an intro, but I do want to provide you the opportunity to also share a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am Breanna Colón and owner of Integrity Financial Solutions Incorporated. I'm also a managing partner for Right Time Financial. And our mission is to empower our clients to financial freedom. And we do that using mindset and money strategies. It's one thing to just get your finances together by way of the paper, but it's another thing to get your mindset together with it that produces a lifestyle change. So I'm excited about the work that we get to do because it's certainly a privilege and not a right that people trust you in that way with your finances. And so, yeah, that is what we do. We change people's lives financially. We get that opportunity and it's such a blessing.
Yes. Listen, I think that especially in this time of season that we're in, this kind of economy that we're in, I think that everybody's trying to figure out how can we make our money stretch a little bit further? How can we make our money work for us a little bit better? So we definitely want to be tapping in with you, Breanna, so that we can get all of the information that we need to succeed.
Absolutely. It's so crucial and critical that we have our financial house in order.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think everybody can attest to the fact that, when your finances are not right, it can be a very stressful situation, and your finances literally do impact, I feel like, every area of your life, right? We hear that but when your finances aren't right, it affects your marriage. It can affect your health. It can affect your, freedom, right? What you have the ability to do, how much joy you can experience. I know they say money doesn't buy happiness, but money does buy a lot of things that can give you more freedom and happiness.
That's right. Absolutely. I think if you're broke, you feel a certain type of way. When you have money and your savings is good, your job is good, checks are coming in, bills are paid, you feel a certain type of way. Much Absolutely. Like we feel about our hair. When our hair is done, we feel a certain type of way, know? And so it is with our money. Peace of mind is priceless.
Absolutely. Especially, again, in the society we live in, money is a requirement. Unfortunately, I mean, and I think in a perfect world, we wouldn't necessarily have to worry so much about it, but in the world we live in, money is important. So I wanted to get into this conversation with you about money as it relates to entrepreneurship, right? I forgot to mention you all, Breanna Colón. Let me not mess up your name, Breanna Colón. I love your name. That's why I got to say it right. Is speaking on our Becoming an Unstoppable Entrepreneur panel at the She Wins Conference and Awards. And so she's bringing her expertise and experience about money to this panel. And so entrepreneurship, again, talking about the stress, right? If I can say that we were just talking to Jasmine last Wednesday about how when your money is not right, that's one of the most stressful things when it comes to entrepreneurship, right? So when I was working a full-time job, I knew that check was coming every 2 weeks. As an entrepreneur, I don't always know that check is coming. So I wanted to talk to you about how what you do can help a person become more unstoppable in entrepreneurship, especially during a time when we are seeing a lot of businesses unfortunately close their doors.
Right, right. Well, the way that you manage your personal finances is a direct reflection on how you're going to manage your budget for your business finances. So if you don't have the personal in order, the business is going to be just as raggedy, has the potential to be. So, and if you don't fix the problems at the base level, then you can make all the money you want to make as a business, but you're still going to have those same habits that are still going to hinder you and cause the business to be stifled from a financial point of view. So it's important, number one, if you are still working a job and trying and running a business on the side and you're trying to make that transition, I'll talk about that first, to make sure that you have adequate cash reserve. I mean, a lot of us get really excited. I was one of them that jumped out of my job too fast many years ago because I was so eager to, it's going to be great. I'm going to have all these clients. Or, I'm so excited. But I was not prepared. The financial advisor, I wasn't a financial advisor then either, but I wasn't fully prepared financially. And so it caused marital stress and it caused budget stress and constraints. It really messed up our lifestyle by me jumping out, because it's like jumping into the deep end of the pool. So it's important that you have adequate savings, but also if you can wait until you can get out of debt, make sure that your debt is out of the way. And I don't mean, you can still have a mortgage, some level of good debt, but we're talking about the frivolous spending and the credit card debts, the things that are just going to be in your way. Because in the beginning, when you're starting a business, you need as much as you can to be reinvesting so that you can market and do all the things that the business needs. So if you're pulling too much money from the business because your personal stuff is all out of whack, then you're still holding the business from going forward and you're still raggedy on the personal. So it's important, if you have not left your job yet, to be patient with yourself and make sure, that you have a written budget so that you can see what you're working with, how much money, and try to trim down your expenses as much as possible, preferably no credit card debt before you leave your job, and at least a 6-month cash reserve, meaning understanding how much does it take to run your house, because you're going to have highs and lows with business. Yeah. You're going to have money. You don't know yet when you're first starting out as an entrepreneur, what are going to be my high months? What are my low months? What's the fluctuation? We don't know any of that when we're first starting out. And so because of that, we need to make sure that the personal doesn't get in the way. Man, I'm stressed out because I got to have $4,000 to take care of the house bills, but I need $4,000 to take care of the business bills. And it's just, stressing you all. You can't even run your business and enjoy doing what you're doing. So that's for the person that's just getting started. For the person that is already, running the business full time, it's important that your business have adequate cash reserve for the same reasons as your personal. You could have things going on. What if you get sick? If you haven't gotten to where you can expand the business yet and have other people working for you so that your business still runs when you're not there, then it's going to be that much more important that you have an adequate cash reserve. If you are then you're going to be in a pickle if you don't know how much money does it take to run your business every month. How do I project to make sure I know for sure what expenses I have certain months, depending on the industry? Some expenses are variable. Some you may not have every month. All of those types of things. You have to be able to write out your projections and be able to understand what your expenses are on your profit and loss statement. So I'll pause right there. I don't want to just dominate the conversation.
No. It's okay. And it's good, because what I would have appreciated when I first started out was hearing a lot of everything that you're saying, actually, because much like you, I jumped out, left my job. I did not have any type of savings or anything. And it definitely did, like you said, put a strain on my marriage. There was a lot of different sacrifices that we had to make. And if I could go back in time and do it differently, I can't necessarily say that I would, because I definitely learned a lot, right? There's benefit of going through those certain challenges. And I feel like I ultimately landed where I needed to be. Like they say, choose your heart. You're going to have challenges no matter what you do. But I would have preferred the journey, of course, to be smoother if I could have chosen that.
Absolutely.
And so I want to ask you, though, for somebody who feels like, because some people are currently in a position where their job is paying just enough, right? They can't even see how, talking about the secrets of saving money, they can't see how there's a way out of this, right? They're getting their paycheck and it's just enough to cover their bills. So how are they actually saving money to create this exit plan that's going to allow them to save a certain amount of money to actually be able to leave their job and move into what they really want to do?
Gotcha. So there's a few different ways that they can tackle that. One, if it's possible to be able to get a second job, then you can give your money an assignment. So that part-time job can be, this is my exit strategy fund. So now I'm working for a purpose now. I'm not just going just because I need some extra money on the side so I can go to Starbucks some more, but I am being intentional and saying, I'm going to take this money and I'm putting it in a separate account, an online savings account with high yield, so that I can be out of sight, out of mind. I'm not putting it in the same account that I'm logging into every day, looking at it so I can transfer it back to my checking account and use it for something else. But we put it over there. But that's one way that you can do it, is just say, I'm going to work this part-time job, but you got to know what your number is. You don't want to just work and keep putting money away, but you need to understand, how much do I need in order to be able to exit my job? And whatever that number is, then you know that if I'm working part-time and I make $800 a month, well, then I know if my number is going to be 8,000, then I know I got to do this for 10 months,
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of can figure it out that way. But if it's just in a situation where I really can't take on a second job because maybe the main job is just too demanding, it is what it is. A lot of times when we see clients in that situation, it still deals with how the money is being allocated. And a lot of times it's because they don't have a written budget. And even though they're aware of kind of what their bills are, it's still how they're spending. Sometimes it's the housing. Sometimes people have just gotten too much house, whether they're renting or whether they are purchasing. They are house poor because almost half of their check is going to the housing payment without them realizing, like, well, I'm making just enough to pay my bills, but I don't see what the problem is. Look at how much is being allocated to all the different areas and figure out, well, maybe I might need to sacrifice. Maybe I might be in too much house. Maybe if I want this business bad enough and I want to be out bad enough, am I willing to go backwards in order to move forward? Maybe I need to go stay in an apartment and rent for a year while I get myself together financially, and then I'll be able to move forward. Because in the long run, I'll be able to buy a house if I really build this business the way I want to and do it the right way. So we may have to be willing to make some sacrifices. Maybe you don't buy all the luxury items, every skin cream there is at the grocery store. And, look at your grocery bill. A lot of times we get so comfortable with the stuff that we're used to buying that we don't even think about it as, maybe some of these items are luxury. Do I really need this? Even down to being married and using, 2 different kinds of toothpaste, 2 different kinds of soap, 2 different kinds of everything. Oh, he has his hand soap, I have my hand soap, whatever. How about let's trim all of that down for a minute, because it's for a purpose, a bigger goal. What is your why? And why are you going after this? Let that be the driving factor on why we need to trim down these expenses. So maybe that would cut a grocery bill down from $1,000 down to $800, or from $800 down to $500. Mm-hmm. So it's really evaluating every area of expense to really see what am I really doing? Because chances are, based on the clients we work with, almost all of the time, there is something that in the way that they're allocating money that could be different. And so if they just do that little exercise, you'll find all kinds of money that's available. And suddenly this check you thought that was being soaked up by everything is now having some money available to do something else.
Yeah. Come on, talk about it, Breanna, because now what you're getting into is the mindset of things, right? The mindset of us as consumers, right? And, right. I was talking to when I was getting my business account set up, I'll never forget the person I was speaking to in the office. He said that when he sees people come in and get their mortgages for their houses, the very next thing that people often purchase after getting the house is a new car.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I have the house, so, I have to have a nice car to come in the driveway. It just all goes together.
Yes. Yes. And so he told me that, I was just like, oh, wow. I mean, it really is like a mindset thing, right? How sometimes we really are getting in our own way of our own success or our own dreams and passions because we want to have this appearance instead of willing to sacrifice. And I heard you say, are you willing to go backwards sometimes that you can move forwards? And even just thinking about how some people will begrudge the idea of having to move back in with a family member or something like that in order to be able to save money. But the question is, like you said, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to get out of this situation? How bad do you want to find freedom? How bad do you want to be able to, run your business and be more flexible in your finances? How bad do you want it?
Absolutely. Do you want it or do you want it?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you willing to sacrifice that appearance and to be totally vulnerable? I definitely had a moment in my business where I had to go and move back in with a family member. And no, that was not my preference by any stretch of the imagination. Never in my life thought I would find myself in that place. But it was the choice between, am I going to decide that I'm going to continue on with my business, or am I going to go back into a full-time job, which is going to take me away from my business because I'm trying to maintain this certain lifestyle. And ultimately, I chose to move in with a family member until I could get back into the financial stability that I needed. And I'm glad I made that choice. So this is really good information.
I went back to work. I had to go back to work in a temp job because my original career path was accounting before I got into the insurance. I got into the insurance field first in mortgage industry. I worked as a loan officer for 10 years and also selling life insurance part-time. And that was when I first made my exit out of accounting into that. But I ended up having to go back to work a couple of times, working temp jobs because, I was about to let us sink. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something because I caused the problem. So I'm like, let me help us to solve the problem and, keep a happy home. And so I ended up going back, and I hated every minute of it too, going to clocking in, because once you get that taste of freedom, it's like going to jail to go back to a job. But I did what I had to do because I wanted what I wanted, which goes back to the point we were making about how bad do you want it. I was willing to sacrifice, go back to work, do what I need to do to keep the house afloat while still working on my dream on the side, long enough until I could do it full time. So it's worth it. If you really want what you want, you got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to change comes when you're willing to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to be able to move forward. And if you're not, lazy mouths don't get fed.
Come on. And I love the saying, choose your hard. I think that, again, if you're choosing to be in a place where you are uncomfortable financially, or like you said, you had jumped out there and you started your business and now it made this discomfort in your home, like choose your hard. Do you want to be uncomfortable in your home, or do you not want to be uncomfortable in your home? I mean, now you have to be uncomfortable going to this job that you like, but you have to choose that you don't like, rather, but you have to choose your hard. You just have to decide which one is the one. And I think that it's really important for us to understand that there's going to be difficulty no matter which grass you choose, right? It's not greener on the other side. Whatever grass you choose, there's going to be challenges and difficulties, but you have to ask yourself which one is worth you putting your time and energy into. Like, which grass do you want to water?
Ooh, I like that. Which grass do you want to water?
Which one you want to water? Which one you want to water? just make a choice and stick with it. That's right. So good. So good.
Yeah.
Talking about mindset more. I actually just was having a conversation with a friend, and she was saying how one of the mistakes that she made in her business was that her business actually started to flourish, and she was making all of this money. And so because she was making all of this money, she started to spend more money. And then so she found herself in, like you talked about, businesses have ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And those moments where she found herself in a slower time, she's like, dang, I should have saved that money. I should have invested that money. I should have done some other things instead of going out and, again, trying to improve how much my business is making. So for anybody struggling with, again, talk to us about money mindset, Breanna. What mindset do you really have to be unstoppable as an entrepreneur?
Well, for one, going to that first point you made about the money and spending the money and that kind of thing, you have to be willing to not take an income too soon. You can't jump out and start a business full time and just expect, well, I'm going to pay myself $5,000 a month and da 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 da. No, which goes back to my original point about making sure you have adequate savings at home, because the more you're taking from the business, then you're slowing your train down on being able to grow and flourish. But at the same time, you have some people that start getting the money, start out with a nice contract or a nice whatever, and they get a lot of money in. And now it's like, oh, you get comfortable, start spending as if that money is guaranteed to come every month. No, we cannot get into that habit. We have to be disciplined in our thinking and have an executive mindset. You're not going to, so for some, when we first start our business, we got to be the worker bee. We got to wear like 10 hats. But if we expect to grow and expand, we have to start taking on an executive mindset and start thinking about what are all the processes and automation and systems that I need to be able to put in place. And in order for me to do that, it's going to take money. Eventually, I'm going to need a marketing person. I'm going to need an admin. I'm going to need an IT person. I'm going to need all these different things. Where's that money coming from if I'm constantly pinching off of it to go spend frivolously because I got a big check-in? I had one big windfall. So we've got to think bigger in our mindset. What is the long-term plan for your business beyond just today I got a contract, today I got 5 clients? What's the long-term goal? Are you trying to build a multi-million-dollar business? Then you got to get in the multi-million-dollar mindset while you're in the $1,000 business. You got to already be there in your mind so that the things that you are doing are moving you constantly in that direction. And that means the way that you're planning with the money, the way, I have had some clients that own businesses that don't have a clue when it comes to the financial side of it. They know how to make the money, but they don't know how to read a P&L. They don't know how to set up QuickBooks properly, or even how to just make a spreadsheet, how to do budget versus actuals, and, how to do the projections. All of those types of things are key and vital. But it's also important that, we're good at what we're good at when it comes to running a business. And we have to also be willing to acknowledge the things that we are not good at. And that's when you surround yourself with the resources in the way of your team that you need in order to help your business grow. Going to the becoming financially unstoppable, you need your lawyer. You want to make sure, for like in my case, I have contracts with my clients, contracts with banks, and contracts with different people. I'm not a lawyer. That I can write a basic contract, but I might sell myself short. I might give away the cow. I might do any number of things unbeknownst to me. And so I need to make sure, as a part of my team, if I want to be unstoppable and not get stopped by some legal jargon that I didn't know, I better have an attorney on my side within my resources. Aside from that, I need to make sure I got an appropriate financial advisor, somebody that's going to make sure that I'm doing those things that I just mentioned about projections and making sure I'm looking at the expenses and being mindful of those type of things. But I also need my tax person. I need my tax strategist, because that's different from having someone that just can prepare your tax return. You need somebody that, as you grow, you don't want to keep paying Uncle Sam 30 and 40 and 50% of your money. And so you need to make sure that you find someone that knows tax law. They know tax strategy so that they can help grow with you and give you all the proper tools so that that if you're having a home office, all the things that you're able to write off pertaining to that, or if you're driving around, all the things pertaining to your car, whatever the expenses are that are going to allow you to owe less, you owe it to yourself to make sure you align yourself with the proper people and not just try to wing it and do everything yourself. Those are some of the key areas that will allow you to become financially unstoppable.
So good.
Get your team.
Yes. Listen,
you can't do business by yourself.
No, you can't. You're absolutely 100% right about that. And we talked about, saving money in your business, being mindful of how you're saving in your business, being mindful of what to do to make more money in your business, in terms of like, if you need to go get a second job in order to fund your business, being okay with that. We talked about considering like the operational costs that are associated with your business. So like how you're allocating your funds. Let's talk about investing, right? So like what are some ways to, and we did talk about investing in terms of like your team, right? The people who are going to be around you that are going to help you to grow your business and sustain your business. But do you have any tips or strategies when it comes to making your money work for you? Meaning like, okay, you're making money, but how do you make your money work for you in the sense that it's increasing even when you are not working?
Right. Well, I think having diversity is really important. Trying to have all your eggs in one basket, which quite honestly, the 9 to 5ers, the average 9 to 5er, that's what they do. Most have their eggs in one basket, their 401k, their 403b, or whatever. And I say all of that because many of us who worked previously full time before going into entrepreneurship, that might be the one account that we still have. Yeah. And so now it's like, okay, well, I have my 401k from my previous job. Now what? And so that is one of your avenues that you can turn into an IRA. You can roll it over into an IRA because once you leave your job, you're not able to contribute to it anymore. But if you roll it over into an IRA, then that'll allow you to continue to have contributions. I would also recommend doing a Roth IRA because now you're talking about after-tax vehicles. Do we really want to have all of our money in pre-tax vehicles? Because historically, taxes have gone up. So if we know that taxes have gone up, why would we want to just have all of our money in pre-tax vehicles? And so it's important to diversify and have more money in your after-tax vehicles. I don't like paying Uncle Sam, so I have after-tax buckets set up so that I can, thrive and do that. But there's also real estate. When it comes to real estate investing, you can do things like Airbnb. You can buy a property. I have an Airbnb property. I have a second one that I'm currently working on. So, having stuff in real estate is a great way to create some passive income, when set up properly. Or if you just want to have a regular renter, you could do that too and have a property manager running it. So even if you do that, you're still creating passive income and your money is still working for you. Now, of course, you can get into stocks and cryptocurrency and, all other kind of stock related investments. That provides another avenue as well, which depends on how aggressive you want to be or not aggressive. A lot of that plays a role too as to which types of investment vehicles are going to be best suited for the individuals. There's no one size fits all when it comes to even with investing. So, and then there's also life insurance. That's another one that people may not realize, that certain types of life insurance provide income on a tax favored basis. I personally have one. That's part of my portfolio too, where I've created an income that I'll be receiving later. I'm only 25 now, so maybe in another, but no, really, in about 10 years or so, that's one of my pots, if you will, that I'll be receiving income from and won't have to pay taxes on that money. So it's important, to really diversify. Not everybody wants to be in real estate, and that's fine. Not everybody wants to do an Airbnb. Not everybody wants to do a Roth, So the main thing is getting educated on what's available. It's also understanding what your goals are for your money, how much money you have available, what's the end goal. By the time I'm 55, I would like to have X amount of dollars. Well, now let's figure out how much do you need to invest today and in which vehicles are going to allow you to get to what the number that you need by the time you're, in this example, 55. So goals, understanding your goals. And that's, again, comes back to when you're working with an advisor, then they can help think about the things you're not thinking about. They're going to ask the right questions that you didn't know you needed to ask yourself. What do I need to ask myself? Well, I need to know how much money do I want to have when? And sometimes we know that part. We just don't know the how, or so it's the same as when someone's paying off a mortgage. They say, oh, I want to pay off my mortgage early. And they put $500 towards it. That's all they know is that they're going to pay it off early. But you can actually put a date to that. It doesn't have to be a guess. You can actually do an analysis and figure out, if I want to have it paid off by year 12, this is exactly what I need to do. So it goes back to having a solid financial plan for your investing, for running your business, for paying off your house, for buying another house, whatever it is. You got to have a solid financial plan for all of that. It doesn't have to be guessed.
Good. So good. I have to ask you this because I do think that, we're talking a lot about financial literacy, and you're saying it's beneficial to be able to talk to somebody about the things that you don't know about. But we do know that one of the things that causes people to remain financially illiterate is the shame that they're carrying about the financial mistakes that they've made in the past. So for somebody who's sitting there saying yeah, I really do. I know I need help. I'm over here struggling in silence, and I want to make this change in my life, but I don't want somebody to see all this damage I have done to my credit. I don't want somebody to see how much debt I'm actually in. I don't want somebody to see how messed up my finances are, how much I really just don't know about it. What advice do you have for somebody who's struggling to get over that hurdle?
Well, I think it's important to consider it like going to the doctor. If we're sick and, we have some private issues going on from a medical standpoint, it's embarrassing to go to the doctor, but we still going, ain't we? Most of us
Some of us,
are
right?
still going to go. Most of us, I should say,
Yeah.
are still going to go because we understand that the doctor is going to have, there's an expectancy that the doctor is going to have the answers that we need. They're going to ask hard questions to understand and how to properly diagnose the problem and be able to give the answer. And so it is when it comes to having a financial advisor that you can trust. You have to look at the bigger picture of they probably have seen other people with your similar circumstance because this is what they do all day, every day. Secondly, they are a good financial advisor should be able to diagnose your problem, ask the right questions to understand what it is that you are saying are the problem areas, what it is that you want to achieve. In our case, because we also are using mindset strategies, we want to get to the root of the problem. A lot of times when people are not where they feel they should be financially, there are definitely some root issues that sometimes people don't even realize have hindered them from a financial standpoint. So example, if a client says, well, I lost my job and so that caused me to get behind on the bills. No, that's not what caused you to get behind on the bills. The root issue is you didn't have the discipline of saving. If you understood that you needed to save and understand what that meant and saving properly, you could have lost your job and you would have still been just fine. But people, all they see is the surface. Oh, I lost my job. They laid me off. It's the job's fault. It's everybody else's fault. But we have to, so that's where, we ask the right questions to understand. Let's get to what's really going on, because if we can get to that root, now we can give the proper strategies to address how you think about money, how you're making your financial decisions that have been hindering you, because otherwise you're going to keep repeating the same cycle over and over again. It's the same reason why people file for bankruptcy and file for bankruptcy again. They didn't learn anything. All they learned was how to get a quick fix. It's a Band-Aid. I don't want a Band-Aid. I want a permanent solution. So if you want a permanent solution, then you get with people who can provide what it is that you need. How bad do you want to be better? You got to want to be better more than you care about this embarrassment, is the truth of the matter, because you're only going to be embarrassed temporarily. If you say I'm broke, I don't have any money, my money is tight, I'm ashamed of where I'm going to be. That's today. Your tomorrow can be entirely different. You just got to understand that it's possible. It's very possible. Anything is possible. With God, all things are possible. Amen. Somebody.
Come on, Breanna. And so you took me right into my last question for you, because I had the pleasure of hearing you speak about belief and how belief makes a difference in your money and how you experience money. So I just want to allow you the opportunity to really continue to expand on what you're about to just say right now. All things are possible. And how does your belief system play a part in what you experience when it comes to money? Did I lose you, Breanna?
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear
yep.
me?
Yes.
Am I here? Oh, yes. Okay. So, as I just mentioned a minute ago about with God, all things are possible. God is the head. When we start thinking about what does the word of God say, even from a practical standpoint, our affirmations play a role. For me personally, my affirmations absolutely play a role. I have certain affirmations that I say every day. One of my favorite is I walk in expectation of great things because great things happen to me. Now, I don't know ahead of time if something great is going to happen, but that's the expectation I'm starting the day with, because I understand I'm a king's kid and he provides for all of my needs. So he might want to provide something today. So if I take that approach, then I'm going to have a great day regardless. Things are going to come your way, but you can still have a great day on purpose. Now, there was something else you said. Oh, gosh, I forgot because it was breaking up a little bit and I wanted to answer it, but I've forgotten the part of what you said. You were talking about the belief system.
Yeah, how it plays a part in what in your money experience. I was saying I had the opportunity to hear you actually speak directly to this at the Atlanta Business and Brunch hosted by Glenn Bishop's IM. And you said some really great things, I remember, about just, again, your belief system and how it relates to your money. So I wanted to give you opportunity to share on that.
Yeah, sometimes we talk ourselves out of stuff. We get in our own way. In fact, I even addressed that in the book when we're talking about experiencing the unlimited, being unlimited in our thinking, because we get in our own way, sometimes without even realizing it. A lot of the things that we do because that's what's advertised to us. For example, if people buy a house, we know the average person gets a 30-year mortgage. Why do we do that? Because that's what's thrown at us. That's what's advertised us. That's what's marketed. And so therefore we're tunnel vision with it. Probably count on one hand, the percentage of people who do a 10-year walk into a house purchasing it, doing a 10-year loan or a 15-year loan. And so it keeps us hostage to this cycle of, oh, my payment is comfortable. I got a low interest rate. It's all in how we're thinking. And in the meantime, the lender is steadily getting richer and richer on us, because now we're paying almost double on our mortgage. But it's the mindset that has been ingrained in us, because we don't look past, this is what's offered to us, and we don't turn back the curtain to see, should I do this another way? Should I not refinance? Refinance sounds good because I'm saving 2%. But maybe I'm not, maybe that's not the true cost of that decision. I won't get too deep into that because I know we're at the end. But the point is, when it comes to our belief system in general, we've got to have a positive mindset. And for those that are in the body of Christ, there are a lot of things that the Word of God says about us, and God has placed a purpose in life for all of us, and we got to be able to walk in it. And if we're not sure what that purpose is, then that's where we need to spend some time in the Word, spend some time in prayer, so we can get some clarity on what God has called us to. But those are talking and saying affirmations and speaking positive over yourself is going to carry you much further than all the negative talk that we tend to say, with sometimes, again, without even realizing it. So when we start saying things like, I can't, oh, I never, or I only. Sometimes people say, I only make 40,000. I only make 80,000. Is that all you want to make? Keep saying, I only make $80,000. If you want to make more than that, I make $80,000 right now. I'm leaving room for however God chooses to bless me. I only make 100,000 right now. I only make 500,000 right now, because I'm leaving room. Whatever God chooses to do, I'm open. I'm open to receive. That's a whole nother affirmation right there. I'm open to receive every day. I'm open to receive. I used to visualize when I go to the mailbox that I get more checks in the mail than bills, because that's the end result I want to see. Now I do get some checks in the mail now, but I still don't get more checks than I get bills yet. Yes. But I still believe that I will, and the time is coming. So maybe on a later report. But the point is that vision plays a role. What we say out of our mouth plays a role. And all of that ties in together. As a man thinketh, so is he. And so we have to watch what we're thinking. We have to watch what we say. We got to watch what we allow around us, things that influence us, that get embedded in your subconscious. All of that plays a role. I'm gonna shut up now.
Yes. Listen, it needed to be said. And I'm glad that you said it, because I do hope that it does shift somebody today. Again, I love the yet, right? I might not have it, but I don't have it yet. Yes.
That's right. I don't have it yet, but I still visualize and think about, I'll go to the mailbox, close my eyes, and start picturing me pulling mail out of the box. And all I see, what a check looks like when it's in the envelope. You know what it is. So I'm just seeing check, Breanna Colón, Breanna Colón. Ooh, again, Breanna Colón. I'm just seeing it. I'm seeing it.
I love it.
It's going to happen. I believe it.
Yes, I believe it. I'm believing it with you, for you and for me too. Okay.
Right. So to those watching, what is it that you want? What's in your vision world? What are you waiting to see, waiting for it to be answered? You got to visualize. I did that with my BMW. Before I got the BMW, I used to visualize me sit. I would get in my car that I think I had a Maxima or something at the time. But anyway, I get in the car and I would close my eyes and visualize me being in my BMW. I turn around, I'm looking in the back seat, looking at the leather. I'm adjusting my mirror. I put my shades on. I'm looking at how good I'm looking. I'm looking at people looking at me. All of this. I was there. Okay. I was there in my mind because I wanted it to be a reality. And I did that for a long time. I had it on my vision board. And then eventually, when I stopped visualizing about it, just because I forgot, I ended up buying a BMW, and that came back to my remembrance one day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was visualizing this. And now I got it.
I love it.
So now I just write my dates when stuff actually happens. Then I write the actual date that it happened on the vision board, so that I can stay in remembrance that this vision thing works, this affirmations thing works, this believing in God
Yes.
works.
Yes, and it
All of it.
does.
All of
And
it.
it does. And it does. You know what? One of the things that I do, I just want to share really quickly is that so every day I journal what I'm grateful for, and then I
Mhm.
journal positive affirmations. And what I've seen over time is that eventually I'm starting to say I'm grateful for the very things that I was affirming.
Mhm.
Did you catch
Mhm.
that?
Yes, I'm grateful for the things that I was
Right.
affirming. Mhm.
Affirming, right? So
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
that's when I'd be like, oh my God, I remember like some pages back, right? I was saying I am experiencing this or I am doing this. And now I'm saying
Mhm.
I am grateful to be doing this or experiencing this.
Yes.
So yes,
Yes.
affirmations work for real.
Yes, ma'am.
Um,
I have a journal too. I write in mine too, but I usually will write prayers, something I prayed for. I write how God answered. Sometimes I write affirmations. Yeah, all of that. All of that.
yeah.
Y'all heard it here from both of us. If you're not journaling, you better get you a book. Get you. I'm from Georgia. Get you a book. Okay. Get you a journal.
Yes.
Don't let this day pass without by tomorrow. You need to commit and go get you a book. Okay. Journal. 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 Hope you
You
see it in the
listen,
comments.
you heard Bria. Okay. All right. And last final question, because I ask this to everybody. We can clearly see that you are going to be bringing a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, experience, and expertise to the She Wins Conference and Awards on November 9th. But what is something
Yeah.
that you are looking forward to get from being a participant of the conference?
I'm excited to see. I saw that there are a lot of women that are getting awards, and I'm excited to meet them and hear about all the beautiful things that they are doing. There's something energetic and inspiring. I can't even think of all the right words, the right positive words to express about. There's something to be said about women coming together. Number one, that's the big thing, and so I'm really excited to celebrate other women and see what they've been able to accomplish, hear about what they're doing, network with them, because you never know who God has you to be meeting, where you're supposed to be meeting them at, and for what purpose. You just never know. I stay open.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, hey, God, I know that you have opened this door for me. So whatever it is that you have for me at this event, whoever it is I'm supposed to meet, help me to be able to see them, help me to know that it came from you, all of that. So I'm open to seeing what God has, but I'm excited to meet and celebrate other women and their accomplishments.
Yes. Okay. I love it. It's definitely going to be a good time, and time will be had. Okay. The vibe has been iron sharpens iron. This room is going to be filled with so many amazing women, including Breanna Colón. So if you are interested in meeting her live and in person, right? If you're interested in continuing these conversations about becoming an unstoppable entrepreneur, we're also talking about leading with vision and purpose. We're talking about claiming victory over adversity. And if you're a mom, we're talking about finding grace and motherhood as well. We have a keynote speakers talking about getting your student loans forgiven. I mean, I think a lot of us want to hear that. I'm a keynote speaker.
Mhm.
We'll also be talking about networking, understanding the power of networking and collaboration. So many good conversations are going to be happening to help you win in life and business. So if you want to learn more about the She Wins Conference and Awards, you can go to shewinsociety.com. Again, it's happening on November 9th of this year in Atlanta, Georgia. And we would love to see you there. I will have to say that as of today, like tickets that are like looking around like 12 tickets left, something like that. So if you want to
All
be in the
right.
room, you definitely don't want to keep procrastinating, okay? Because I know
Get
that
your
pretty soon,
ticket.
get your ticket, okay?
Get
When
your
they're
ticket.
gone, they're gone. All right. We will be
That's
full to
right.
capacity. We won't be able to add any more seats. So we
Oh,
would love to see you there. And again, make sure that you are tuning into Coming to the Stage every Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, before we go, this live is going to live on our Facebook and YouTube pages forever and ever. So, Breanna, I did want to provide you the opportunity to tell anybody who's listening who may hear this and say, oh my God, I got to get in contact with her. I need her to help me overcome my challenges or get my finances in order. How can they connect with you?
yes, I am on all social media outlets. You can find me with using @ I am Breanna Colón, as you can see on the screen, BREANNACOLON, @ I am Breanna Colón. That takes you to my YouTube, my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, all of it, LinkedIn, all of it is the same at I am Breanna Colón. Or you can also visit our website at www.integrityfsi for Financial Solutions Incorporated. Integrity, INTEGRITYFSI.com. And there you can see all of our contact information. Our team is happy to help. I have a team of financial consultants. They're really great. I trained them personally. So we're happy to take care of you. We offer free, keyword what? Free 15-minute consultations that allow you an opportunity to just talk with us and let us understand what you got going on, tell you how we can help. And if you feel it's what you need, then, we schedule you. We are literally no pressure because we want people that are ready for this process and ready for this journey. So we don't, if you're like, I don't know, that's perfectly fine. No pressure. And I am Breanna Colón.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard it here. If you are feeling ashamed of your finances, contact Breanna. She's no shame over there, right? No judgment zone, right, Breanna?
Yep, no judgment zone. Whatever area, we got people from all walks of life, from all levels of income, from fixed income to high income earners, middle income earners, everybody in between. So, or if you just need some to tweak your stuff, maybe you're already doing some things well and you're like, what, I need to get my investment life together, or I need to get my life insurance life together. I need to get my retirement life together. Wherever you find yourself, if something is not quite right in your financial plan, we're here to help.
Yes. Oh, and last and final, where do they get their copy of The Secrets of Saving Money?
Yes, that is available on Amazon. I believe it's also on Barnes and Nobles. But you can if you type my name in on Amazon, it'll come right up. Just type in Breanna Colón, and it'll also show you my podcast as well. Amazon will show you the podcast link as well as the book, that you can purchase for $13. It's just very, very inexpensive. $12.99. Yes. It's less than 2 cups of coffee.
Right. Worth the investment. Worth the investment for sure.
That's right.
All right, y'all. So if you found this episode to be valuable, be sure to share it. Sharing is caring. Like, comment, share, subscribe to She Wins Society channel. Make sure that you connect with Breanna, follow her on social media. And again, make sure that you're tuning in every Wednesday and Friday for new episodes of Coming to the Stage. Visit SheWinsSociety.com and get your ticket to She Wins Conference and Awards. And until next time, keep growing, keep going, and keep on winning. Bye.
Bye-bye.